Guys, happy Monday.
Yeah, we've just been playing this week, going what we're doing. It's sort of like a bit on everything, really. So we also on next Coin Pixels DLC, which is the Zodiac DLC.
Yep.
Laura's making some art tests for the Skies of Kingdom project, just to get some sort of stuff on that. Me and Rob are doing some game design stuff for that as well, just sort of in preparation for next week's interview. And yeah, Bloop has Cats DLC, and then Rob's doing Skies stuff as well. It's all over the place.
All over the place.
Bit of everything.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
So you might remember last week that I was showing the egg sort of jar competition thing we do every year. Counting them all up, you can see there Rob's won. He picked the funny number, so he won because of that. So now he's got his eggs over there and he's eating them already.
Hello, today I was working on this potential game that we'll be making. Hopefully the plan does go ahead. That would be amazing. It's a Skies to the Kingdom project, and I just made a little block out of what it could look like, or at least like a part of it would look like. I might make it a little bit bigger just so there's more stuff and just so the idea is a little more clear. This might not even be the end result, but I guess it's good to play around with some stuff. It's good to play around with some ideas and do some research. So I made a few hexagon squares and I tiled them together. Oops. I'm so used to the voxel app, so the keys are different for Blender again. But I made a few hexagons in varying heights and colors so that I can easily stack them together and reuse them. For the texture, it would probably be best to use a tiling texture because it will be a very simple, very low poly game, and that could decrease the time and increase the performance of the game.
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of work on concept art for Skies to the Kingdom, and my initial thought of process was just going through and designing sort of architecture for all of the different races that are in the game, which is going to be keepers, Elvians, humans, and the sort of air quotes evil race that's sort of like accumulation of all different races in sort of one faction. And you can start here, I did a lot of quick sketches, but I didn't like how these were looking. I couldn't really convey what my vision was, so I started moving over to markers here. And you see that these look a lot more cleaner, and this is actually the architecture for Elvians. And there's nothing really specific here. It's sort of, like houses. We've got maybe like a little town here. This could be maybe like an inn or something like that, or blacksmith. There's nothing specific. So I did all of those buildings for different races. This is the human ones, which has definitely got that sort of classic England and medieval architecture spruced in there in a little bit. At the water wheel, the big tower here, the sort of castle aesthetic here. We've also got some blank pages. There we go. This is the evil faction, so lots more steampunky sort of not planet destroying, sort of world damaging sort of machinery going on here. So you can see, I know Rob was saying the Mortal Engine aesthetic could work quite well, so I started doing things that like standing on legs, lots of pipes, lots of smoke, windmills, things like that. Quite happy with these ones. We've got the keepers as the last one, and this is sort of just made out of scrap metal and junk. Anything that keeps their hands on, they will make buildings out of, and Rob really seemed to like the sort of stacking sort of effect here on the houses, where it looks like if a keeper moves in, they'll just bring their house with them and stack it on top of the other one. So I think we're going to go for this sort of design for a lot of the buildings. And now I'm sort of moving on to the hexagon-based artwork here. Lots of sort of styles and layouts. Hopefully Laura can make use out of this stuff in her 3D modelling stuff. And you can see here we've got random designs here. And for what I'm working on today, I've got a big list to go through, and this is sort of working on more architecture. However, it's going to be for specific buildings. So you can see here I'm working on the blacksmith buildings for every sort of race. So we've got here, this is the keeper one at the top here, the blue one. I can see here sort of laying those buildings, and it's got those like nice little flags. and little what do you call them? What do you call them? Like little sails that the keepers use on a lot of things. This is the human one. Again, lots more of a traditional medieval look. I took a lot of inspiration from like Elder Scrolls things for this one. And this is the Elven one, which I think I've gone for a bit more of a tribal look, which I really like. And this is, of course, the evil faction, which is sort of more steampunky and a lot more hazardous. So I'm going to continue these buildings. I've got to do a few more. I think there's going to be an inn, there's going to be some houses, there's going to be some farms. So I'm going to get as many buildings as I've done for these factions, and we'll see how we go from there.
So another day, another game design document for tax purposes, and for the interview that Rob has next week, which is for a potential government grant for making a game project. So yeah, it's quite important that we actually show that we're making progress on the game. We've seen Jack making some concept art already, but yeah, me and Rob over here on my little notebook here went through yesterday and was having a discussion, make sure we're on the same page, no pun intended, with the game design, just to make sure we can get the document in a state we like, and that we're all, you know, speaking about the same sort of thing, that what I'm writing down here is the same as what we'll be saying in the interview. But yeah, as you see, quite a lot of things to fill in. I've done a good chunk of it so far. I'm onto the mechanics side of the game, which is like the biggest part of the document to fill in. It's just going in depth as much as I can with that. There's quite a lot left to do. I want to get this done ideally today, at least for the first draft, so Rob can give it a read over, etc. So I'm going to clock out for now because it's getting a bit late. I need to head off and do some stuff, but then I'll be clocking back in later tonight with the remote desktoping to make sure I can get this finished up, because yeah, making good progress and I don't want to break up the floor too much.
Yesterday was a bit of a write-off, not going to lie. I got really distracted working on colouring voxels, trying to get the FPS as best as it can be. Don't have much to show for it, but I do have some ideas on how we can make the FPS even better. It's okay in this screen, it's just when we get to the main menu and it's trying to render thousands and thousands of voxels, it's a bit of an issue. But yeah, today anyway, I put all that aside and I focused on the main UI for when you're actually playing the game. So this UI should hopefully look a bit familiar for those of you who play Colouring Pixels, essentially showing you which colour you've got selected. Actually shows you which colour you've got selected now as well. Before there was no actual colour assignment. Got this little bar at the top that shows you how many pixels we've got left. Just made that look a bit nicer. I think we can do a bit better. It's difficult to see, but like there's a tiny bit of like clipping going on here when you press it in. Just one of the side effects of using 3D UI. And yeah, another thing is that, hang on, I'll just colour this in, is that these UI indications pop up to show you which one you've got selected, and they also fill in once you've actually completed a layer. So one of the big bits of feedback we got from Show and Tell on Friday was that it's really difficult to see which layer you're on. So hopefully this should fix it. Another thing to note is that we've got these little, like I've sort of like changed the textures here. So we've got a little bit of texture on the ones that aren't selected. So we've got 25 selected now, but 26 it's got this like sort of like checkered pattern in it. So then 25 is bold and white. Just a little bit, just trying to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on. You see it changes it all there. Then yeah, we get this little green tick. I think the next step is to make it move over to the next layer automatically, but for now you just have to click and it'll load it in.
Hello guys, happy Easter!
Oh yeah, it's Easter.
Oh yeah, it's Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, sorry. It's
No, go on, you go on.
Just 4-day weekend. I was quite excited.
4-day
Go
weekend,
on.
yes, very excited. Yeah, by the time this video comes out, I think the Cats DLC will be out now. And by the time the video goes out, or will be coming out tonight anyway. The Zodiac DLC is a few more weeks out at this time of video, maybe like another week or two. I think it's about 2 weeks. So check the store page, you should see some art there. I think Lee's still hard at work on the Hexy DLC. I don't know when that comes out. He's not in. It's not my fault. I don't know when.
Yeah, it'll be May. It'll be May.
It'll be May. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who's tuned into the stream today. We got to see some behind the scenes with some of the upcoming stuff. Really cool. Thanks to all people on Discord and Patreon and everything.
Everything. Yeah. Cool. Happy Easter.
Yeah.